Somebody is sure the hell an attention whore, and of course the true crime community is giving her attention, while at the same time continuing their senseless attacks on Steve Goncalves. I'm thejbgunner, this is Crime Time. Today we're going to be talking about Kaylee Goncalves' sister. A little bit of information I have for you, a video, a few texts that I've received, and then we're going to elaborate a little bit further. But that's what we're going to be talking about today, is the Goncalves family. I'm thejbgunner. Let's go ahead and get things started. Let's do it.
Bring it back.
You know, you can go all the way back to November, a year ago, actually, when I first started covering this case, and you can go when I've talked about potential suspects with this case. And you will see that since the very beginning, there is one thing that's irked me. There's two things, actually. The cartel talk and the constant attacks on Steve Goncalves. There's some of these idiots in the true crime community even believe Steve Goncalves did it. They're like, Steve Goncalves killed his own family. It's not true. Not true at all. But anyways, guys, I'm thejbgunner. This is Crime Time. Before we get into this story, we're going to be, I want to say first and foremost, thank you to everybody that supports the channel, regardless of the method you choose, whether it's Cash App, Patreon, Venmo, PayPal. Truth is, guys, I couldn't do this each and every day as often as I do without you, the Gun Squad. Love you guys so much. If you too want to support the channel, if you find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Support the channel. You can also find some other content down there, my political channel, my live stream channel, all that good shit. Before we jump into this story, though, I just want to say this. I think people, when they cover these stories, you let your emotions hit you way too, like you let it control you. Like if you had shitty parents and was abused and blah, 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 I think you let that guide you through this. And this is why a lot of your videos and a lot of your guys' theories are kind of goofy, because ultimately, and I'm not saying all, and I'm not saying anyone in particular, I'm saying in general, when you let your emotions get in the way of facts, a lot of times you will judge someone and judge a situation based on them emotions. With Steve Goncalves, I've heard people talk about the crypto company he has on his hat. Like, I want you to understand, the same people with me, for instance, the same people on my side about these people judging every fucking body language, piece of body language on Bryan Kohberger, these are the same people that do the exact same thing with Steve Goncalves. I want you to let that just sink in your mind for just a second. A lot of the people that are on my side and believe that Bryan Kohberger is, well, innocent until proven guilty, and are irritated by some of the people that's judging every single aspect of Bryan Kohberger's physical being. Look at Bryan, he's got his hair gelled, that means he's guilty. You're doing the exact same thing when you talk about Steve Goncalves' hat, or the fact that he's in front of the camera and he's obviously pissed off his daughter's dead. I think some of you need to put your emotions in check. That's why I'm able to turn on this camera and give no fucks each and every day, because I'm not emotionally tied to anything. A lot of you people that's in this true crime community, you're the hashtag Me Too type of people. You're all victims. Every single video I hear, essentially is motherfuckers telling me how much of a victim they are, how rough they had it, how mentally unstable they are. We know. And that's why y'all don't like me. It's because I call that shit out. And I'm just a regular motherfucker on the internet that is giving my opinion, that unlike y'all, I don't fake the funk and act like I care about this shit so massively. It is just entertainment to me. A lot of you people have attached your emotions to it. Just saying. I get it with the women. But some of the dudes, I'm like, come on, man, calm down. Let's go ahead and get to the story. Let's go. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're gonna touch on true crime for a little bit, for a second. We're going to get away from politics for a second and World War III and all that shit, right? This is going to be a quick, not necessarily quick. I mean, it will be quick. But there's a couple issues with this IDAHO 4 case that's going on right now. And one of the major things that's occurring with this IDAHO 4 case right now is The focus on Steve Goncalves and the Goncalves family. In case you do not know, Steve Goncalves is the father of Kaylee Goncalves, one of the 4 people murdered inside of the IDAHO 4 house. But this morning I've seen videos. And last night I received a text from a supporter of the channel, a friend of mine, Claudia. And she presented me with a video on TikTok that I'm going to elaborate on a little bit from Kaylee Goncalves' sister. But this morning, other people beat me to the punch, and I was listening to a YouTube video from a creator, and it was the perfect example of emotions taking over. What's up, Vin? When? It was the perfect example of emotions taking over and people automatically connecting something to their personal life. And as I've told you, everybody in the true crime community, they're all victims. They've all been victimized. They're all fucking retarded. They're all victims of something. Hashtag me too, motherfuckers, right? Now, let me explain something to you about my past. I had a prostitute of a mother. There's literally hanger marks on my head from her whooping my ass. I've been stabbed, I've been shot, I've been abused, I've been removed from my home. My father's been in prison my whole life. Do you hear me whining about it? Do you hear me playing the victim? No, I lace my motherfucking shoes up and I go to work every fucking day. And I realize that as a grown adult, everything that I do is on me. But see, in the true crime community, there's this weird thing that they do. They like to play the victims of everything. My daddy was so violent when I was young. And my mom was too, and she went crazy and yeah, come on, man. Everybody can point fingers at their parents. Everybody can point fingers at their parents. Look, man, parents do the best job that they can. Parents do the absolute best job that they can. And you know what? When I look back at my parents, I say, you know what? Yeah, y'all were fucked up, but I'm fucked up. Everybody's fucked up. It kind of is what it is. If you got good parents, appreciate them. But if you got shitty parents, also appreciate them. Because maybe raising your motherfucking ass wasn't the easiest thing in the world for them. And I'll touch on this a little bit more because I'll touch on my children a little bit. And I'll explain something to you as we progress. This weird obsession that people have with parenting and children, and like it's the number one thing on the planet. I want to make something clear. Well, you know what? It is a hard job. You don't get to pick your parents and you don't get to pick your kids. It is a hard job. And anyone that even attempted it, congratulations. And some people failed. Some people failed. And you know what? Here's why it's such a big deal to everybody is because every single parent out here thinks they're the best parent in the world. Just like, I'm just being 100%. Every fucking parent out here thinks they are the absolute best parent in the world. And I got some news for you. No, you're not. You're a fuck up just as much as I was a fuck up, or just as much as my parents were fuck ups, and just as much as other parents are fuck ups. It is a hard job in which you're going to fuck up several times. And sometimes you raise a millionaire or somebody that ends up being a great kid. Sometimes you raise someone that isn't that, or someone that's influenced by the people around them. You cannot blame yourself for your kids, and if you're a kid, you cannot blame your parents. Now, why do I say this? Why do I say this? We're going to get into this woman right here. And this is the woman that brought up all of this shit. This woman is Kaylee Goncalves' biological sister. Now, let me make something clear to you. My take on this is really, really simple. And this is what I've told my kids, because my kids have tried to re-enter my life. If you've ever called another man daddy, you go be with him. That is one of the most disrespectful things you could do, and it's an unforgivable thing in my. Let me explain this to you. I've had kids that have saw me on YouTube or saw me and be like, hey, that's my dad. Hey, dad. No, hold on, bro. Hold on. Was it you just calling another motherfucking dad? Man, don't bring that shit to me. I paid my support. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. But ultimately, I want to make something clear. Sometimes people are forced out of parenthood. Sometimes women use kids against the fathers. Now, some of you men, you're able to be a cuck for that kid. You're able to, like some of you men, take all the abuse for years and years and years just so you can see your kids once every 2 weeks. The family court system is completely rigged and it's completely wrong. That's why 91% of child support goes to the custody winner, which is women. The family courts are fucked up. I can tell you right now that in both situations, I had women tell me, if you're going to date other people, you can't see your kid because I don't want my kid around other women, other bitches. So it put me in a position where I had to jump through hoops and shit. And then ultimately, what really turned me off is when they were like, hey, understand that your child calls another man daddy. Oh, no, I don't want nothing to do with you motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I pay to call? Why would I waste time when this person views someone else as dad? I got other shit I can go do. That's my personal perspective. Now, why do I say that? This person right here, all of a sudden, this person calls another man dad and had, but now, because Kaylee Goncalves is dead, she wants to jump into the scene. She wants people to know. She wants people to basically feel bad for her. She wants to basically take the spotlight from her sister. She's jealous of her sister because her sister not only had the spotlight publicly, but also with her father, Steve Goncalves. Now, I don't know what everybody's deal with Steve Goncalves is. I have no fucking clue. But you can forgive them? No. I see, I'm not like you, Cammy, or other people. Blood doesn't mean shit to me. Blood doesn't mean shit to me. I want to make that clear. Some of you guys are blood family type of people. I'm not that way. I don't want to forgive them. There's no benefit to me to forgive them. At all. So just so you understand that, I took my stand a long time ago. You guys' obsession, like with being, you don't care about any, I want you to understand, I take a position. And look, so many people in this world, all they want to be known as was a great husband or wife. Everybody's judged on their relationships with other people. I want my legacy to be about what I've accomplished. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't do anything for me if you put great dad on my tombstone or great husband or great, that's just not an accomplishment. That doesn't, I get it. So many of you guys are taught that that's all you need to be. As a great dad and husband. So many of the women are taught all you gotta be is a great mom and wife. But I want you to understand that the people that typically will do you wrong the most and that will hurt you the most are your blood family. So to me, and I think everybody can agree with that the people that will do you the worst are typically your blood family because they're the people you trust and that you don't expect to do you wrong. But the reality of this is I was not raised like that. I didn't have a good mom and dad and all that, and I don't blame him for anything. But so I wasn't raised on the, oh, you're my mom? That means I have to love you. So ultimately, my position on this is really strange. When I see people that want that on their tombstone, like, I want more than that. I want to accomplish more than just being a good mom or dad or being a good fucking husband or wife. I don't think that I don't believe that your status as a man or woman should be completely reliant on those two things. Have you ever noticed that? You could accomplish everything in the world, but everybody's like, yeah, but what kind of father or husband was he? Who the fuck cares? That's only two aspects in life. So what if you're great at 100 other things, but you suck at just those two things? Everybody's like, that means you're a horrible person. No, it doesn't. I was great at 100 other things. This motherfucker could cure cancer, do all kinds of shit, but the people are like, yeah, but was you a good husband? Well, I cheated a few times. Oh, you're a horrible person. Man, get to suck my dick. Did you love your offspring? Not really. I cured cancer, though. Oh, my God, you didn't love your offspring, though. It's a weird thing where someone's entire... It's a weird thing that those two things, how much you did for someone else, somehow defines your legacy instead of your accomplishments. That's weird. That is fucking weird to me. But let's get back to this broad. So, Kaylee Goncalves was murdered. Now, I want you to see this shit. I want you to hear this message. And then we're going to look at some pictures, some images, some other things. We're going to look at a couple other things. So let's go ahead and... Hold on.
Almost been a year since the anniversary of my sister's death. I wanted to go on here and talk about my dad, Steve Goncalves, and elaborate on...
So she's going to come out here and bash your dad.
...things and how it's affected my life. I didn't know how to go about that. I don't know how to go about that. So I decided that I would write from a journal entry that I wrote today.
Let me ask you people, like, why do people do this? Why do people feel it's important to tell complete strangers on the ticker-tocker everything that she's telling them? Like, if she felt this way, this is attention bullshit, she can contact her father. She can contact her father. How do I know she can contact her father? Well, let me show you guys something. Let me show you guys something. Because she was. She was contacting her father. This right here is an email between Steve and Samantha. They were regularly talking at one point. And this is Steve basically kind of dogging his wife out. It's not hate, it's pain. I've seen her cry looking at pics of you saying, why did she get to give you a baby that looks like you, and I give you 5 and none look like you? I tell her I do. They all look like me in this way or that. Nevertheless, she feels your mom outdid her on that point. Plus, she does hate that you act just like me, LOL. Working out, keeping in shape, and all that Olivia never works out. She's lazy. Steven's not into it. Kaylee, who the fuck knows about? This is before Kaylee's death. Then they're doing 10K marathons. She needs something like that and give me a dirty look. Oh, Miss Perfect went to the gym. Saved 2 puppies while winning a marathon. That was a fundraiser for breast cancer. Who isn't she just perfect? So he's basically telling his daughter about jealousy that comes from his wife. Now, the reality of this is his wife has made him choose between her kids and those kids. And trust me, I understand that. Sometimes you got to pick your battles. So let me make something clear, as I understand that completely. Women and men, a lot of times you can't deal with the exes, you can't deal with that shit, so you do make people. I don't know why people put this shit on the net. But let's get back to this.
And I feel really vulnerable doing this, so...
Well, then don't do it on the internet.
Anyway, this is what I wrote. Hi, Steve. I'm really feeling exactly why I've been...
I want you to understand. I want you to understand, she calls her father Steve. If my children called me John, I would never see them again. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you have so little respect for me that you call another motherfucker dad and you call me John, don't bring your monkey ass ever on, don't contact me ever again. Ever. Roger, my boy, sent 20. Thank you so much. He said, for great content. Thank you, brother. Do you see what I'm saying? That's my position on this shit. And but look, some of you will say, well, that's petty. No, it's not. You're asking me as a person to bring people into my life that don't respect me, don't, you know what I'm saying? And so this is another situation. I want you to understand. I stand with Steve here in this scenario while this broad begs for attention.
And now that when he would write me for all those years, I did not have a fixed idea or example of what his voice would sound like or how his movements would look while speaking. Seeing him on the screen so often expressing his love for his daughter and its deep sadness that he feels because she is gone is all expressions that I wanted him to have for me.
See the jealousy?
I feel like I owe my sister an apology for why I'm so upset with him. Because it doesn't have anything to do with her, just like her death doesn't have anything to do with me. But we are still intertwined nonetheless. Her unaliving shows me exactly.
Unaliving. This is why I don't take none of these people serious. The true crime community is a goddamn cancer. This broad legitimately had her sister hacked up and murdered, and this bitch is still saying unaliving. Which tells me she watches the true crime community, which is why she's doing this. And let me tell you something. This bitch wants to sit here and dog her father out for his lack of parenting, blah, 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 blah. Well, I find that interesting. Why do I find that interesting? Hold on, where's my shit? Where's my shit? I'm going to get to all that. And just say, in fact, I don't know where I fucking put the fucking, where's my shit? I'll show you in just a second. The reality of this is, in fact, let me just go this way. Let me just go here so I can pull it up. The reality of this shit is, this broad has lost her children. Let me show you. I'll show you. Give me just, oh, that's right. I don't think I mailed it to me. Did I? No. No, I didn't. Give me one. I'll do that in just a second. I'll mail it to myself in just a second and then put it on here for you. But make no mistake about it. This broad has lost her children while she was in rehab for whatever fucking drug or whatever it is she was on. And it's 100% factual. And in fact, I'll just go to her TikTok. Actually, I don't know if they'll, let me see here. Let me make sure. Let me just do it this way. Oh, that's what we'll do. We'll just go to her TikTok. No, that's not it. That's not it. Son of a bitch. Give me 1 second, and I'll email it to myself. I guess where I had it. Give me just a second. But anyway, So we'll get back to this video and then we'll do it. It said alcohol. Texted it. There you go.
The capability that Steve has to be a father. I didn't get that and she did. Please bear with me because I don't really want people to get the wrong idea here. I'm just trying to express myself. Okay.
Hurry up.
Her death shook an entire nation. And when I was
You hear.
to speak about it, it really hurt.
You
When I found out I
hear.
wasn't allowed to speak to my dad about it. And the media and TikTok especially had all
I know I gotta
sorts of
email it to myself.
accusations and borderline obsessions about the case, and I was blasted for simply asking people to remember that the victims have families and that this subject is sensitive. This resulted in my other sister, Olivia, going online accusing me of gaining clout off of Kaylee's death. Obviously, this wasn't my intention at all. And though I was not allowed to talk to Kaylee often, her and I did connect via Facebook and other platforms. And Olivia and I did spend physical time together on more than one occasion.
I'm gonna show you something about this shit too.
Besides myself, and it was more appropriate. Steve got my mom pregnant as a teenager and left us both. He also refused to let my stepdad adopt me at the time.
Understand, she wanted her stepdad to adopt her. That's why she's making that statement.
And always had this unspoken claim over me that I think he wanted to keep a reminder that I am in fact his child. I don't really know why that is to this day. Exactly. But over the duration of my entire life, we spoke in private through thousands of emails since I was a child.
Right.
His wife would never approve of this and always shut me down every time or ignored me entirely when I would try to reach out to my sisters and my brother. So being told to go underground and keep to myself after all this really set me into a really dark night of the soul. Seeing my dad's face.
Lady, you've had a stepdad all this time. She changed her name at 18, exactly. From Goncalves to whatever her name is now.
Some of the more unsettling comments opened an abandonment issue, an abandonment wound that I thought I had since healed by the connection that I had developed with Steve before this had happened. In a lot of ways, Steve became my best friend. And even though I had never met him in person since I was a very young child.
Oh, there you
Since I
go.
was a very young child, I still had a lot of love and a lot of curiosity.
So understand, this person had never met her father since she was very young, never met Kaylee, never none of this. And now all of a sudden, she pops out with all this shit because she can't handle seeing Steve on TV so much. Can't stand the fact that her sister gets all the attention because her sister was brutally fucking murdered.
I mean, where it came from, and that never went away. I watched him and my sisters grow up through the pictures he would send me, and I felt like I knew Kaylee. I felt like I knew Kaylee since she was a little girl. And I was kept secret long before she even knew about me. I had no desire to force myself into their family when I was again repeatedly told that Steve was given an ultimatum to either choose me or his other children by his wife, Christy.
Hey,
So needless to say that he chose his other family. And I respected that. However, I always held hope that I'd get to meet them all someday, especially because I really enjoyed the time that I did get to spend with Olivia. And I would have given anything to meet Kaylee.
here's the thing. Olivia and Kaylee, they really didn't like you too much. If you want to know the truth. How do I know? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look, see. Let's take a look. This is Olivia and Kaylee talking back and forth. Calling you out. On this image that you see right here. They're literally talking about you. and laughing at you. They're not a fan of you at all. That's what they thought of you. And look, man, you can go on and on. You can bring them all up. What's it say? Olivia Stevenson. First of all, this is definitely not relevant to the case. Second of all, I promise the story is a lot less heartbreaking than some are being led to believe. Third, here's how Kaylee felt about Sam, which will always guide how I respond to situations like this. So Kaylee and Olivia consistently talked back and forth. Few play dates at age 5 with Olivia. Exactly. They weren't family. This is why I say to you people, man, I don't understand your obsession with blood family. If you don't know each other, you're not family. I don't give a fuck who I'm related to. Not family. I don't know these motherfuckers. Same thing here. And now all of a sudden, because these other people are getting attention, she wants it. Says, hi, how are you been? I know I'm a perfect stranger, but I forget our dad's birthday, but I would like to get him a gift. Can I send you one to your address anonymously? I don't understand. And then your sisters are clowning on you and roasting you for this. But I want to make something clear. In fact, I'm going to show it here in just a second. Okay? Let me show you guys something real quickly. Let's go here. Now, if you look right here, this is on her TikTok for Eden. We'll take a look at this here in just a few minutes, okay? But why she's sitting here bashing her father? Let me go here. I want you to understand this woman has lost her own child. Samantha Nelson, the poem I wrote for my daughter while I was in rehab, hashtag we do recover. You need to worry about your own damn self. And we'll take a look at that video here in just a few minutes. We'll take a look. I believe I got it. The link here. I believe I got the link here. Let me check. Yeah, I do. Man, I have over 1,500 cousins. Yeah, I don't talk to none of them. They're all strangers, exactly. They're all strangers. And we'll get to that piece here in just a second. We'll finish with this video first.
It's hard to read.
This is all attention. It's all this all is.
But I'm not supposed to. And I'm her blood relative. I changed my last name from Samantha Goncalves to Samantha Nelson when I was 18.
Right.
Because it felt like the only thing I had control over. And I wasn't part of that side of my family.
Right. So what is your deal?
Even though I looked like Steve and I had his wit and apparently his mannerisms, I still wasn't
Exactly, Denny.
a true Goncalves. I
Right.
also wanted to have the same last name as my little sisters on my mom's side because being a big sister was very important to me.
Right. You have your own
Since
family.
it's been taken away from us, I'll never be given the chance to do that in whatever way that might have looked like in all the ways that I had dreamt of.
She was never taken care from you because you didn't know her. You didn't
I
know
was
her.
hardly even given the opportunity to say hello.
You weren't even given the opportunity to say hello.
By no means trying to bash my dad or his wife for that matter. But I had to deal with this all alone. And when this happened, it really just, it spiraled me in the wrong direction. It really triggered a lot of abandonment wounds. And
that resulted in me self-medicating in unhealthy ways.
Why are people so mentally ill? Why are people so mentally ill? Like, you understand, I haven't seen my father since I was like fucking 3 months old. I've never sat and cried about it. I don't understand this. Clearly, the Goncalves family, her sisters, didn't want shit to do with her. Clearly, she had a stepdad that she called dad and wanted him to adopt her at some point. I don't understand. I guess we're looking at this now and I'm like, okay, why is all this exist now? And you're putting it in public, and it's because ultimately you want the attention that Kaylee's gotten. And look, man, I just don't understand it. We're all grown-ups. At some point, you have to look at your family and say, you know, if you have a dad that abandoned you, so what? If you have a mom that abandoned you, so what? Fucking man or woman up and just fucking deal with it. You're grown. You're an adult. Just deal with it and move forward. I don't understand the issue. Why are you people so mentally retarded? I personally don't understand it. Yeah, I had a bad childhood. So?
Everybody was, fixated on Kaylee's death, and I was in a fight for my life.
Oh, were you?
That Steve completely disregarded.
Oh, he gave his daughter that got brutally murdered attention?
Video, Steve told me to take it down because it had caused drama in their family.
Right.
And I by no means was trying to make things more challenging.
Sure you were.
I had no desire to look like I had.
Sure you were. That's why you posted the fucking video. You had no reason to tell complete strangers any of this shit. You're doing it for attention. That's why you're doing it.
Dropped into victim mentality, and I had enough emotional awareness to know that I needed to get some help processing this too. So I got help with
What's up, Rainbow?
and out of rehab and Oxford houses, and really working on my mental health.
Everybody's got mental health
And that
issue.
being said, I'm aware that this case is bigger than me, and it doesn't have
Way
anything
bigger
to
than
do
you.
with me in a lot of ways, but it
Or
did
at all.
affect my life. And if I could speak to Kaylee today, I would tell her that I'm so incredibly sorry that this happened to her, and that she is so loved, that she has millions of people praying and fighting for justice for her.
There's no justice for dead
Tell
people.
her that I don't understand why this happened to her, and I'd express how thankful that I am that she had a dad that I didn't, because all little girls deserve that.
Wow, all little girls?
So yeah, this year I just want to reiterate for people to be kind on the internet, and
Then maybe you shouldn't make videos bashing your father. He's dealing with some real shit right now. And you're making it all about you.
yeah,
All about you.
that's all I have to say about that right now.
Now, here's the thing. Okay? Here's the thing. And by the way, so I showed you that email earlier from them. Now, hold on just a second. We're not done. Let me pull this video up. Give me just a second. Let me pull this video up. It's for Eden.
Recorded this video like 5 times now.
What's up, Candyland?
I wanted to come on here for a minute and talk about recovery. Since being sober, I don't really sleep.
So understand that she just made that video, and she's been making videos essentially bashing Steve for his parenting or lack of, even though she called another dude daddy. I want you to just understand this. She doesn't know them, Candy. She's never known them.
I'll use this time to
Thank you, Rainbow
process
Mellow.
things and, cultivate creativity. And tonight I found myself revising a poem that I wrote for my daughter in rehab. I thought I would share it.
But your daughter's
It's called
gone.
My Mommy Drinks a Lot.
Oh,
My mommy drinks a lot, and I don't mean coffee or from a teapot. My mommy drinks things that are bad. Sometimes she gets sick, and it makes me feel sad. My mommy drinks a lot. I told her please stop, but I guess she forgot. So my mommy had to go away for a while. But when she returned, so did her smile. Even though it's taken some time, one thing is for certain, we will be just fine. Happy and healthy, together we grow, because my mommy loves me wherever she goes. Good things come to those who wait.
she's a mental case. She's a fucking nut job.
But our story isn't over. This is just the start. And most importantly, my mommy's with me, always in my heart. I wrote it with the intention of trying to further explain to her why I have to be absent sometimes. I'm not trying to get emotional. Because I don't feel like there's a lot of resources for parents who have to go to detox or have to go to institute.
How about you just don't do it? How about you just take care of your shit? Notice how you blame your father for everything. Now like right now, you're not doing it, and still you're like, well, they don't give us enough resources. This is just constant. This is why I hate the mental illness crowd, particularly in the true crime community. Like, will you just stop whining and man or woman the fuck up? That does look like a monkeypox on her upper lip. That does look like some goddamn cancer or something. You got some, your shit on your lip. That shit on your lips got some shit on its lip.
Voluntarily.
What's fucking wrong with it?
To get better. So, yeah, if anybody else is out there struggling with this disease, if you don't think it's a disease, that
It's not a
that's
disease.
fine with you if you think it's a choice.
It is 100% a choice, and I know that because I drink all the time. Every day. And I choose to do so. There is no disease to it. Nothing forces me to do it. Like look, man, I don't have any physical dependence on it. Like right now, I don't have to go to the liquor store. I'm going to because I like to drink. I like to drink. See what I'm saying? But it's not a disease. It is a choice. Period. Cancer is a disease. AIDS is a disease. Becoming an addict or anything of that nature is a choice. You don't have to choose to do those things. A disease is something you can't necessarily dispose of. You can in some. Alcoholism or drug addiction is 100% choice. Just like if you decide you're a dude and you want to suck a dick. You wasn't born sucking dick. You chose to suck a dick. Same thing with picking up the bottle. You choose to do it, and that's the problem I have with all the mental illness retards, particularly in the true crime community. You don't take personal accountability. That's the difference between you and me. That's the difference between conservatives and libtards. That is the difference between men and fucking boys. Is we take accountability. Everything, particularly with drinking and here's what's so goofy about it. Like they'll blame you on the they'll blame the shit that you do when you're drunk on you drinking. So, you know why you blame shit we do when we're drinking on us when we're drinking? Do you know why they do that? It's because we chose to do it. It's just the truth. There are times that I've been drunk and said some shit or done some shit I probably wouldn't have done intoxicated, but I'm still to blame for it. I chose to go that route. Let me give a shout out to Jimmy. He said, awesome content, sent 5. Let me give a shout out to Larice. Beautiful Larice sent 10. She said, for a drink. Thank you. Thank you so much, Larice and Jimmy. The reality of this is, man, is we all make the choices to do these things. You don't then get to play the victim and say, this is a disease. Because I'm walking my ass, or however the fuck I'm going to do it, down to the liquor store in just a few minutes. And you know what? I'm not going to buy a disease. I'm going to buy a drink. That is what is about to happen. And when I do it, it's because I chose to do it. Nothing forced me to or anything like that. It's because I like to be drunk. I like to be tipsy. Just like everyone else that drinks. This is why I dislike the weed people. Because the weed people act like it's medicine. No, you like to be high. Stop lying. You like. Absolutely. Don't drink and drive, brother. Rainbow Melon. They love being a big. By the way, this shit's 20 feet from my house. They love being a victim. That's when I tune the shit out. Yeah. Of course, it's too drunk. I enjoy doing it, Virgil. I enjoy doing it. But to call it a disease would be a lie. They love being a victim. That's all it is. That's what they want to do. They want to be considered sick and a victim, even though they chose to drink and give up their children.
And I'm not here to get into all that right now. I just thought I would go on here and share something intimate because I feel like that's important to do on this platform sometimes when it's appropriate.
And yes, my license has been suspended since 2000. 2000. That is 23 years.
Tell me what you think.
So, what I think, when in regards to this broad, yeah, of course, real talk. I think that any time that you place the blame of there's a lot of things in life that I do wrong. A lot of things in life I do right. And every last one of those things were done by me. Every last one of those things were done by me and chosen by me. I don't blame my parents for shit. I don't blame other people. I don't blame girlfriends and wives or anything like that. I don't blame any of these people for the choices I make. And later on in life, when I eventually die, whether my kidneys give out, whatever the fuck happens with me, it's because I made that choice. If I end up dying today for some sort of heart attack, that's my fault, man. I shouldn't have ate the fucking carbs. I shouldn't have ate the burgers. I shouldn't have ate the fries. I shouldn't have drank the fucking beer. It's the way life works. The problem I have with the true crime community and I have with these people, the unalived people, is that they're constantly pointing the finger. They're constantly playing the victim. They're not victims. You want to know who the victims are? The IDAHO 4 and maybe Brian Kohlberger. But let me also say this, right? I'm going to show y'all something. I want you to hear.
Judge chair and all dressed up in a fresh haircut.
I want you to see.
First part of
I do want to say that one of my problems, I do have one problem with Steve Goncalves and his wife. Look, let me make something clear. I think Steve Goncalves has done what any fathers would do. But I also think that Steve's wife has a kind of dumb, ignorant mouth. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I hear you, Buckshot. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about right here. I want you to hear this.
First part, obviously, is being in the same room with him. I know what he has done.
Now, you don't know that he's done it, but I just want you to hear this, bro.
It makes me sick that he sits there in his suit, and he sits there and taps his hands, and you're just sitting there, and he, sits there and rocks back and forth in the chair, and I'm thinking, why is he sitting in a big old judge chair? And
What do you mean sitting in a big old judge chair? Some of these, this is when I start to disconnect from some of these people. Because they sound so goddamn stupid. What do you mean sitting there in a big old judge chair? What does that even mean?
and all dressed up in a fresh haircut, and I've looked it up. Never seen another murderer or whatever he is convicted.
I've never seen another murderer or whatever he is convicted. What is that? I don't think you know the way the court system works, lady. I don't think she thinks before she talks, or I think she's just so mentally wound up. And by the way, people go to their court hearings in suits and haircuts all the time. You do understand, this is what I don't understand. You do understand jails have what's called a barber, right? You do understand commissary has hair products, right? You do understand there's a jail barber, right? And he is innocent until proven guilty, which is exactly why he should wear the fucking suit. She said, he's a murderer. No, I didn't mean that. Thank you, Teresa. She said, I meant he convicted. No, he's not a convicted. That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
Up to this point of a case, not in handcuffs, not in shackles.
Well, no, it's because he's innocent until proven guilty.
One or the other, or both, and in orange.
Because he's not a criminal. He is suspected of a crime. He is not a criminal at this point. This reminds me of all the people in the true crime community because they actually are complaining about it too. He deserves a fair trial as a man that is innocent until proven guilty. I don't understand why these simple-minded cocksuckers can't understand that. The beautiful Teresa sent 20. She said, here's to a drink. Salute. May you always keep it real. Adore you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I want you to understand. They really struggle with the concept of innocent until proven guilty. I'm not sure why, but they do. So I'm just going to say this one more time for the slow people in the back. He's a murderer. He's a convicted. No, he's not either one. The reality of this is Brian Koberger is a man suspected of a crime. We live in America where people have constitutional rights, including Brian Koberger. If we find out and you prove that without a reasonable doubt that Brian Koberger is guilty, send him to the firing squad. But that's what a trial is for. You have to prove him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Then you can kill him. Not until then. Until then, he is an innocent man, and he must be treated as such. And if you don't stand for that, then you don't stand for America. That's reality.